Hey everybody, it's Mike. I want to talk about clean hearts, okay? That's been a theme, and I want to relate a clean heart to the challenges we face in life. We all face challenges, man. I've gotten a couple of calls just recently from people who are going through some significant challenges in the neighborhood, stuff with their health, stuff requiring finances and hospital bills, and man, we just had a kind of a storm that came through, and everyone's facing difficulties. And so how does our heart cope with those difficulties? How can God help us? And I want to say that the cleanness of our heart is tied to our strength of our heart. Well, how does that work? Well, let me share it just briefly. Jesus said this: if I don't wash you, you have no part in me, okay? Now, why did he say it that way? And I want you to relate to this. So let's say that I just gave you a seat, okay? I said, hey, why don't you come sit down? You come down and you look at the seat, and the seat is dirty and it has bird poop on it and it's mud on it. You would look at that seat and say, I'm not sitting in that seat. And I would say, well, why? I offered it to you. And you're like, it's dirty. It's going to get me all dirty. I'm not going to do that. Forget it. Clean the seat, and then yes, I would be glad to sit down on it. When Jesus says, if I don't wash you, you have no part in me, what he is saying is that if he doesn't come in and clean our heart, he's not going to come in and reside there, right? You're not going to sit on a dirty seat. I'm not going to live in a dirty house. Jesus is not going to live in a dirty heart. So if we want Jesus to come into our heart, we've got to say, God, clean my heart so that you can live here. If I don't wash you, you have no part in me. And so we need a clean heart so that Jesus can live inside of us. And so he does that work, remember? It's difficult work. None of us can clean our heart, right? How do you get all of those ugly attitudes out of there? All of that fear, how do you get that out of there? Jesus needs to come in and do that, okay? So that's part one. Part two is that he comes and lives in us. That's the benefit. That's the reason why I need a clean heart more than anything, is because I need Jesus inside my heart. Why? What does that do? Think of a balloon for example, right? You ever blown up a balloon and all that air pressure that's inside it inflates that balloon and it stays nice and firm, and if you put helium in even, it floats, and right? And you've ever been the day after a party and the balloons have started to wilt? Why did they wilt? Because the air wasn't in there. There was no air pressure inside of it, making the balloon stiff and firm. The strength of the balloon had kind of seeped out of it. I want to tell you that without God in our heart, our condition is a wilted, weak heart. We're like a deflated balloon, a balloon that is lying limp on the floor, unable to do anything. That is what our heart is like. And so when life demands something of us, when I get a bad health report and it demands of my heart a certain amount of hope or strength or courage, or I have a difficulty with a person, it requires a certain amount of patience or love or joy. If I don't have a strong heart, I am unable to meet the challenges of our world. And so we need both things. We need Jesus to clean our heart so that he can live within us. And then when he lives within us, what that's like, it's like a fully inflated balloon. Our heart is full, it is strong, and it has the character of God inside of us that we can meet the challenges placed upon us. And listen, life is going to bring you all kinds of challenges. That's not a question of that. We can say, God, take away the challenges. Well, that's not going to happen. But what he does say is, I will live in your heart and I'll give you the strength to meet the challenges. What does it require of us? God, clean my heart. Why? So that you can live within it. And with God inside my heart, I can do all things through him who gives me strength. God is the strength of our heart. He is our portion forever, and that's why we worship him. Let me pray for you. Father, give us the strength in our heart. Clean our heart, Father. For those of us who've liked the dirtiness, or we felt overwhelmed by the dirtiness of our heart, give us the faith that you can wash us, you can make us clean, and strengthen